Do you think, David, that this is the proof that CMC is this offense?
I don't think it's quite that simple, but I absolutely think that it is a valid assertion, or
Okay, let me be more blunt.
Yep.
There's a lot of moving pieces. You have 11 players. Sure. Everybody contributes. But is it CMC or is it Purdy that is the catalyst of this offense? And was that kind of proven today with the way that the game went?
It's 100% CMC. And I will say this. I went on Ryan Hensley's show on Friday, and I actually said that based on Purdy's play, I had shifted from like doing 100% CMC as the MVP of the offense to really validating what Purdy was doing. But that was also, I made the stipulation of it, what he was doing in the context of what he has at his disposal, which includes Kyle Shanahan. And it still was like, and I think Brock can rebound. I will say, after today, I don't know if it confirms anything that we didn't already know. If I'm going with my gut, though, if I'm going to tell you how I really feel in the moment, yeah, the CMC injury has me nervous. The CMC injury has me nervous that this kind of hashtag this is the year feeling that a lot of people have been having, including myself, is a little a bit of a mirage. And I'm not saying it is, but I don't think that this team, if you lose CMC, I think this offense changes dramatically. We know this from last year when he joined the team. We saw what happened when he was there. If CMC can't play, the pressure it puts defenses under, right, is incalculable. I mean, it is calculable to him. You could look at like the different what the offense does with or without him, but it's you can't put a value on that for the Niners. Like, he's that valuable. Yeah, this offense is going to struggle without CMC. I will say that. And I think that I'm not saying the sky is falling. Struggle relative to what they've been doing. But now Brock Purdy is going to be put in situations where all of the expectations, all of the pressure, all the talk, it's going to be on his shoulders. If CMC is out, if Debo is out, right? And then that chatter is going to start to. So he's got to. That's what you pay. Well, he doesn't get paid the big bucks, but that's what if you're an MVP candidate, man, you got to like water off the duck's back. And I think he can do that. But do I think the offense is going to be as productive? Absolutely not. In today's game, regardless of a Browns defense being legit, completely showed that they're going to have some struggles.
I think for me, when I look at this offense without CMC and thinking long term, I don't. First of all, we don't know how serious the injury is. I mean, he could be back next week. We do know that he tried to gut it out. He came in for a play, ran the ball. I think there was a penalty that called it back, and then he was out immediately and went to the locker room. So he tried to fight through it. He couldn't do it. Luckily for the 49ers, if we're just looking ahead, they have the Vikings, which is not a good defense. They should be able to put points up on the board. I think losing CMC mid-game versus a good defense is different than knowing you don't have CMC all week as you prepare going against a bad defense. So I would expect that even without CMC, if it's a week or whatever, that they figure out a way to put up points next week against a bad Minnesota Vikings defense. And then after that, you have the bye. So the hope is, even if he has to miss a game.
No, they don't have the bye.
It's Bengals. Bengals, right? It's Bengals. Oh, I'm tripping. You're right. It's them, Bengals, and what? You're right. You're right. Well, that would be a whole different game than a bye. Well, either way, let's put it this way. Then you hope that you have Minnesota. You can fight through that one regardless, because it is a team without Jefferson, and it is a bad defense. You have all week to prepare for them. You should be able to go out and win that game, and then hopefully CMC's back, I guess.
The Vikings today had 220 total yards against a Justin Fields-less team for most of the game.
Yep.
Obviously, Justin Fields doesn't play defense.
For
the
sure.
Vikings mustered up barely 4 yards of play. Yep. They are not. They're trying
without
to lose.
Jefferson. They're
right.
whole.
I get it, but that's also with Kirk Cousins, and the Bears' defense is not great. I get that. I also think that going into, it's not the Dome anymore, it's US Bank Stadium. I'm hoping the CMC can come back. I have faith that they're going to rebound. I have faith they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. But I also, we've said this, it's a young career for Purdy, right? So we don't really, a lot of people have been talking about this, and I don't know how much I've either embraced, dismissed, or even listened completely to that. But this idea that how much adversity has Purdy seen? You could talk about the Seattle game, maybe after he had some rib pain going into that game in December, right before Christmas. Is that it? I mean, honestly, like, I'm not saying that Purdy isn't a credit for having that for like making sure that he didn't have those nervous moments, but like the Cowboys game in the playoffs, tight game. But
Raiders game.
What?
Raiders game at the end of the game there. Yeah, Raiders game.
Yeah. This is going to be, though, none of those games that Purdy have to go without his weapons.
Yeah.
And I think that if they're missing Deebo and CMC, he's going to be in prime time on Monday Night Football against another quarterback that everybody says can't play on prime time. And you cannot tell me that Kirk Cousins is not going to want to, with a coach that he loves, Kyle Shanahan, go out there and duel it out. It's going to be an interesting game now. I'm going to be there, and all of a sudden it feels like a lot more pressure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with CMC and Deebo. Deebo, I don't even want to guess on who's more likely to miss it. Here's what I will say, going back to the original question, is CMC the offense? For me, this game validates what I already thought, which is three things. One, I never said Brock Purdy was bad. I never said he was bad. I've said he was good, and I've praised him all the way through, right? Yes, I did prefer a different player, but I never once said he was bad. I never rooted against him, none of those things. So for me, when I said that, hey, I think CMC is the catalyst to this offense. So two things. One, I think CMC is a catalyst to this offense. And two, don't force anybody to just like give everything to him as if it's already been earned. Like, let people take their time in evaluating him long-term and what he may be. That's all I've ever asked for. And I feel like hopefully after today, like, people will understand exactly where I've been coming from. It's not, again, I haven't piled on him today. I haven't said anything bad or anything like that. I think he's going to be fine. Mentally, I've always liked how he bounces back. I expect him to bounce back just fine from this. Hell, all day, like I said, I was tweeting out, he's going to bounce back. It's going to be fine. They're going to score. It's going to be fine. And it never happened.
It didn't happen, though.
But it didn't. But it's just one game in the grand scheme of things over the course of a career. But just allow people to be different than you. If you want to jump on and say, hey, it's this and that and next Montana and top 3 and blah, go ahead. I'm not policing how you fan or how you feel. I'm just saying there are some people like myself that can like him, but also say, hey, I just want to see more. And that's all I've ever wanted. And I feel like now I've got that breathing room a little bit to be like, okay, is it cool? Like, can I, or no, is that not okay still? I don't know.